Their chances of the 5 in 81 are very slim indeed. Going to drop quickly. In there quickly was Greg Edwards, taken away, however, by West Adelaide. And that's Tate getting a kick to the outer side. Rowe in the action again. Looking for Platten in the pocket, and that's the way the ball will go. He's got the ball now, not confident of making the distance. Putting it up in the air. Van Dommel over the top by Thien. Good mark. 25 metres out in front. And the dog ruckman with a great opportunity to get Central's off to a good start. Breeze at his back, taking plenty of time. A very important game for the Dogs. Towards the golf course end. Kick underway. He's dragged it slightly. What's the result? A point, and not a confident start by Peter Thien. But Peter Marker, it's going to be a very tough game.
It's going to be very hard, Ian. And Michael Tate's kick away from fullback about a minute ago was a poor one. He should have gone for distance. The kick-off now is a far better kick. De Jong, Kennedy up high, but he's come from behind and Moore's taken the mark. Kennedy started off at centre-half forward, Tate at fullback, Williams at centre-half back, Davern at full forward. The kick in, Lewis is in trouble, Edwards takes the mark. He's kicked a lot of goals this year, Edwards. Standing the mark is Michael Tate. And the Dogs doing all the attacking at the moment. Kick on the way, not a good kick, or not a good looking kick, 1 point only. And Centrals bring up their second point. So it does appear as though Dexter Kennedy is at centre-half forward, but he's coming down a long way, and in fact he's contesting the kick-off mark. He's running in now, he's under the ball, over the top, marked by Morris. Morris wheels around on that left foot, as he so often does. His kick is to half forward. Out on a long lead is Beach. Not Beach, it's Randall Bennett. Takes the mark, tears away. The kick is to half forward, up high Davern. Oh, he's juggled the ball beautifully, can't hold it in. The kick is away, West Adelaide looking good, going down the boundary line, and marking is Filkey. Filkey's going short. Luders on a lead, can't mark, appear to be interfered with. In the back, Luders will take the free kick on a very acute angle, some 30 metres from the northern goal. Well, it's the first time that West Adelaide have been forward. Luders, the kick on the way, not a good kick for goal, out of bounds on the full, and not a good start for West Adelaide. Kicking off will be Peter Bubner for the Dogs. Van Dommel gives the lead, but that's ignored. He's going for Terry Moore. De Jong is number 4. There's the punch. Borchardt the crumbs. The handball is ineffective. Picked up by Van Dommel. Over the top. Central District's running it out of trouble. On the end of it is Platten, providing plenty of run. He's kicking, looking for Edwards. Edwards can't mark. West Adelaide will get out of it through Williams. Williams fumbles the ball. It's over to Hamilton now. Or the kick came from right, but that was ineffective. Kennedy can't mark. West Adelaide break through again through Bennett, looking for Davern. That's too far, out of bounds. West Adelaide yet to score. The Dogs 2 points.
Pete, I wouldn't be at all surprised if Luders is at full forward. He was lined up to play centre-half forward, but I agree with you, he's not there. Looks like as though Kennedy is. But at the throw-in, Kennedy's coming across for it. Bubner's with him. Kennedy in front spot. Davern wants it behind, thumped away. A chance now for Reckner. Oh, it's taken away, however, by Bennett. He's at the bottom of the pack, and the umpire will come in and bounce. Very slippery underfoot. The Dogs 2 points. West Adelaide yet to open their account. Kennedy, Bubner over the top. The tap down comes back towards Van Dommel at centre wing. West Adelaide in control, but couldn't pick up the ball. De Jong couldn't bend down that far, and it was out of play at centre wing. Moore and De Jong at centre wing for the throw-in. De Jong at the back. Borchardt the run at the bottom of the pack. Peter Krieg will get a free kick for kicking to the danger, and he's just the check side of centre wing. Pushes it towards the half-forward line. Coming to meet it, however, has done it well. Greg Edwards throws it over now. Gillies with the opportunity. Beats there with him. Gillies has got the pace to get there first. Can't paddle up. Cantalaftis in. Lewis over the top. Cantalaftis joined by Beach. Runs it now to Morris. He's under pressure as well. Morris at centre wing. Running past him, however, is Rowe. Rowe sets it up. Van Dommel, midfield. The Dogs go clockwise or to the outer side where it's taken by Gillies. Indirect play at the moment. Buttering up again is Rowe, and he's got the ball about 40 metres out. Will have had 4 kicks and gained about 30 metres. This time Rowe will go for home with a long kick. Going in high, going to be close. No, just offline once more. And Centrals just cannot find the wide opening of the goals. 6 minutes into the first quarter, they've got 3 points. West Adelaide haven't got anything.
Daryl Hicks would love to have got 1 or 2 goals out of those forward movements. They've looked promising. The kick out, Kennedy's come way down again. He appeared to be interfered with. Running away with the ball is Morris. Kicks to half forward. Davern is there, can't mark, but follows up very well. Morris is running past, that's where it goes. If he gets past, and he does, that goes out to Leon Grosser. Forward, Looters. Has he been paid? Yes, he has. Good movement. There's no doubt that Neil Curley has picked a side for the conditions. Leon Grosser into the side. He's a terrier in these conditions. Reckner is also useful in the wet. And players like Randall Bennett, Beach, Morris, Hamilton, they can handle the conditions. Looters kicks to full forward. Gee, that looks very good indeed. The wind bringing it back. That's a 6-pointer. Oh, that's an important one for West Adelaide, and there's the man that kicked it, Roger Looters. And the Bloods, 1 goal, and the Dogs are 3 points.
Peter, it's difficult to tell just which way that wind is blowing. It appears as though West Adelaide is going into it, but on that occasion it certainly didn't hamper Looters' kick that much. As you said, it went away just slightly at the last moment, but West Adelaide are kicking quite distance, or making quite some distance into the breeze, so that's a good sign.
Back to the centre, Terry Moore and Dirk De Jong. De Jong, the tap down, Hamilton. Oh, he was in trouble then, kicked away Livesey. Robbie Donaldson gathers at half back and kicks to half forward. Kennedy's under it if he's good enough, but running in very late on the scene is Davern. Davern in the action already. Appears to have appreciated the move forward. The kick's not a good one, but it appeared to come off the side of his boot, but it went straight to Leon Grosser. And he's at centre half forward. Maybe too far out to score, but as Ian Day has said, West Adelaide may be favoured by a breeze. I'd imagine that Grosser will put it into the air. Won't make the distance. Into the teeth of goals. Kennedy up high, can't mark. The ball on the ground, shuffled through, 1 point. West Adelaide 1-1, 7 points, leading the Dogs 3 points.
West Adelaide obviously geared up by Coach Curley for this game. There's plenty of more movement in their forward division. Players leading everywhere. Kick in by Bubner to the outer side. Misjudged badly. De Jong is giving chase. With him over there is Pryor. He measures his length. The umpire said that he was pushed in the back, and the free kick goes the way of Mark Pryor on the half-back line. He's almost up to centre wing for the Dogs as he centres the ball. Well, it's not a well-directed kick. Hamilton's got the opportunity now if the ball will sit for him. Well shepherded. Hamilton across the centre line now, looking for Looters on a lead. It goes towards that player, gets to it. Fine mark, Looters. 30 metres out, and already Looters providing a headache for Stephen Bone. Looters 40 metres out. He made the distance from here before, although the angle is different. He came from the right-hand side. He's almost head on this occasion. Breeze probably come from the left to right. Looters' kick is a wobbly old punt kick, but I think he's made it again. Not a good-looking kick, but goal number 2. And the Bloods off to a great start in this first quarter. 9 minutes in, they lead 2-1 to 3 points. Great action on Channel 9.
Ominous signs for the Dogs, because when Looters is on his game, he's as good as any forward in the business. Tremendous effort, 2 goals in 2 minutes. There he is, Roger Looters, a confidence player. When things are going right, Roger Looters is an out-and-out champion. 2 goals to the West Adelaide forward, and they lead 13 points to the Dogs, 3 points.
De Jong against Bytheen. Line ball to the half-forward line. Davern leads in the race. Heavily met, loses possession of the ball, goes through Bennett, leaves it behind. Watson on top of the ball as well. In there for the Dogs is number 38, who's Darren Cloesi, and a bounce down, or at least a throw up at centre half forward. Bytheen up, doesn't get the tap away, does the second time, doesn't get it clear. Kennedy around the corner into the pocket. Wells at the back, in front was O'Brien, and the umpire is going to bounce the ball about 30 metres out, 25 metres out in front of the goal, and players just getting a little upset about it. And umpire Peter Mead, quick with a whistle, has penalised the West Adelaide player in Reckner, or has he given it the other way? Well, Pete, I didn't see that, really.
There were 2 thrown, Ian, and I can only assume by the reaction of Peter Mead that Stephen Bone threw the first one. Reckner certainly came back at him.
Well, Reckner's got the free kick. He's only 20 metres out in front, and gee, that's what the Bloods need. A confident start, 3 goals in 10 minutes. Perhaps kicking into the breeze, and they lead 3-1 to 3 points.
Well, Stephen Boehm in the goal square is still holding his nose, so there's no doubt that he was hit. There's Stephen Reckner, who kicked the goal, but there were a couple thrown. And the indication from Stephen Boehm certainly is that he got one right on the nose, that's for sure. He's still holding it. The trainer's out to him. Back to the centre. West Adelaide 19 points. The Dogs 3 points.
I agree with you, Peter. There was possibly an exchange. De Jong, Bytheen, Borchard to the half-forward line. Good mark taken by Watson. Watson just the attack side of centre wing in actual fact when he gets the ball. Davern gives the lead. He's been called to play on now. Borchard gets an awkward handball on the half-forward line. You need backup support. Puts it high to the half-forward line. Grosser at the back of the pack. Gets one hand to it. Reckner a chance now. But a free kick will go the way of Grosser. West Adelaide getting them at the moment. And Grosser's where Lueders kicked his last goal. About 40 metres out. Lueders on the lead. The passes are good. Oh, no, over his head. Not a good one, but once again, Boehm has given away a free kick. Lueders couldn't stop. Neither could Boehm. Cannon into the back of the West Adelaide forward. And Lueders has got a chance for his 3rd goal in the first 12 minutes of play. Not a good start from the Dogs at all. It's his 4th kick. Lueders' last kick wasn't a confident one, but it got a goal, and that's all it's got to do. This one is just going to sneak in. 3 goals. Oh, what a start, West Adelaide. 4-1, they lead the Dogs 3 points.
Well, certainly a great start there by West Adelaide, but the $64 question is, can they sustain it? And of course, talking about questions, time now for KG's football question, where you can win some fantastic prizes. Here's the question. In the next part of the replay, a Central's player takes a mark, and Ian Day makes the comment that it's a vital kick for the Dogs in their quest for the 5. Simply, all you have to do is to name the player, and you could win for yourself $500, which I'll tell you about a little later. But first of all, let's now take you back to the action, the very exciting last quarter at Football Park between West Adelaide and Centrals, 4 minutes into the term.
I think the Dogs are certainly going to have to score, though, in this last quarter to win. There's only 10 points in it. De Jong and Wright has come across to take the knock. Bashed forward by Van Dommel. Candelaftis doesn't get there before it goes out again. Dexter Kennedy is playing at centre half forward now. Muret onto the flank. Bruce Linder's back onto the ground. He's started in the forward pocket. Holding the ball, they yell. But again, Peter Mead comes in for a bounce. De Jong and Bytheen. De Jong easily. Graham gets there first, does it well. The handball is to Krieg. Beautifully done, Krieg. Gets it back to Bytheen. Bytheen didn't want it, neither does Wright. Grosser does. Handballs into no man's land. Robbie Donaldson after it, so is Reckner, coming from the opposite direction. The handball's poor, but the backup from Beach is good. Reckner to Muret. Muret balks. Superb balance, Muret. Goes short to Kennedy. The run supplied by Beach. That's where it goes. West Adelaide looking good. Lueders on a lead. The kick is atrocious. Bennett's there. So is Lindner. The handball to Muret is poor. All the Central District's player in trouble. The tackle applied, holding the ball.
West Adelaide at centre half forward. Muret wants to play on but can't do so. He can't extricate his foot. Understandably so when someone's got hold of it. Muret to the lead of Lueders is good football. Lueders has played well. He's kicked 5 goals and has done all that's been asked of him. Lined up in the original lineup at centre half forward. Never started there. Has been full forward all day. Maybe at a forward pocket. It's always hard to tell. Lueders, 45 metres out. Wobbles a kick in towards goal. That could go through, could bounce through. Did he get his hand to it? Goal. Well, an incredible goal to Lueders. 6th goal. It should never been allowed to happen by the Dogs. They should have easily got a hand to it, but West Adelaide are quite happy.
Magnificent work, Lueders. There he is, 29. And an unusual move by Coach Hicks. Brendan Graham's come onto the ground, and Krieg, the centreman, is off. And he'd be one of Central District's better players. There's the floater, and it's not the first floater that Roger Lueders has kicked today that scored a goal. should never have gone through as end a set.
West Adelaide back in the fight, down by 4 points. Big game at stake here. A long kick by Moore to the half-forward line. Canalaftis gets back. Tate in defence. Brenton Graham with a chance now. Gets a kick away, but under pressure, it's not good. And it'll go out of play on the full. West Adelaide's Brendan Lewis to bring the ball back into play. As Peter said, Brenton Graham coming onto the field. Hard to understand when Krieg was going so well. Obviously, he must have an injury. Graham's kick is towards the half-back line. De Jong is going to be a leaper right over the top of Williams. Randall Bennett tries to worm his way through, can't get clear. Searching for the ball, Graham. Pretty difficult to get it clear. The umpire letting it go on, sensibly so. They still can't get it clear. Thrown out again. This time, Borchard just gets clear with it, and Peter Mead loses patience and comes in for a bounce.
Oh, well, De Jong gets the tap down. Brenton Graham. Peter Mead does it much quicker on that occasion. I thought Dean Mobbs had gone to the middle, but in fact he hasn't. Krieg lining up again to come back onto the ground. Gillies is in the middle at the moment, and Mobbs is probably on a wing. Breaking through. Canalaftis gets there. Platten sockers it off the ground, out of bounds again. Well, I don't know why Krieg came off, but he appears to have some taping up high on his face. He may have got a knock. No, that's his mouthpiece. Down to Canalaftis, the kick away. Morris in front, can't mark, picks up, tries to handball to Borchard. Borchard's played a tough, hard game. Gets it onto the left boot, but gee, there are 76 players everywhere. Pushed forward by Bythane. Back to Borchard, onto Kennedy. Kennedy in trouble. Breaks the tackle. Well done, Dexter Kennedy. He's played well. Oh, beautifully put to Lindner. Lindner on his own. Breaks through the centre, onto the left boot. He'll get distance. In front, O'Brien. Gee, he makes a mess of that one. Filkey out on the wing. Puts it onto the boot. Grosser. Yes, he's marked. Will be paid that one. Grosser is marked, probably 25 metres out, or 20 metres. Rick Charlesworth paid the mark in day.
Well, this is an important kick for West Adelaide. Keeps his eyes on the ball, and whilst it just wobbled around a bit, the umpire's been consistent. He took that all right, and he's got the opportunity 20 metres out, and gee, is this an important kick for West Adelaide. Could give them a chance, or put them in the 5 in 1981. Grosser's kick is pulled well offline. Not a good effort at all, and West Adelaide still trail by 3 points.
He hasn't kicked a goal today, Grosser. I bet you wish he'd kicked that one. So does Neil Curley, no doubt. Earnshaw to kick off. There's only 3 points in it now, and West Adelaide have lifted. There's no doubt about that. Central District have made a couple of strange moves in the last 5 minutes. De Jong over the top to Borchard. Borchard playing it on, and he threw the ball away. Rick Charlesworth on the spot. He saw what happened, and Van Dommel gets the free kick.
Van Dommel at centre half back. A let off for Centrals. Pryor at centre wing. Bolts off, no pressure on him. West Adelaide starting to look a little tired, although they've lifted, as Peter said. Some of the players are not chasing. Hamilton at centre half back. He's certainly not one of them. Kick high to the half forward line, looking for De Jong, but the mark taken back there by Darren Clohessy. Put in a useful performance. Kicks wide. It's his 10th kick. Gillies out there. Grantley, Filkey. Here's a chance now. Livesey gets round Donaldson. Going to be run down. No, Filkey can't make the distance. Right up towards full forward. Philip Graham beats, thumps it away. Getting back towards the goal, however, was Lewis, and Tate. But the ball trickles through for a point to Central Districts, which gives them back once again a 4-point margin.
Tremendous judgment by Beach then. Spoilt Brenton Graham beautifully. Tate to kick off. He's got plenty of distance today. That's no exception. Dexter Kennedy's under it. Oh, good mark, Dexter Kennedy. Played extremely well. He's taken quite a few marks. This will be kick number 14, and that was his 8th mark. Kicks to centre wing. Not a good kick on this occasion. The mark's been taken by Van Dommel. He was looking for De Jong, but didn't get quite enough distance. Van Dommel centres his kick. Morris, Brenton Graham, Craig Williams comes through, balks beautifully, finally gets boot to ball. but again, not well directed. Muret, good handball, Muret, back to Borchardt. Muret's handball today has been superb. Earnshaw way out in front of, well, that's Bubner, way out in front of Luders. Gets the ball to Pryor. Pryor in trouble. Muret in again. Players all over the ball, and Rick Charlesworth in for a bounce down. 9:15 the Dogs, West Adelaide 10-5, and the game still very finely balanced at the 11th minute mark of the last quarter.
Only 4 points the difference. A desperate game for both clubs. Good tackle against Bubner. A chance for Randall Bennett on the half-forward line. The left foot underway. Goes in towards goal. This could bounce through, but getting back quickly on it's O'Brien. Gets a swift boot to it. Oh, it's all West Adelaide back here. Muret's going to be the player to get it. Runs round the opposition. Heads towards goal, but the kick is well offline. In fact, just makes the point in the end. And not a good effort there from West Adelaide. Well, they're doing all the attacking, but they can't find the goals. In kicking into the breeze in this last quarter, it's been a lot better performance. Cloesi going to kick the ball back into play. He's coming out grandstand side, looking for Bubner, having a run on the ball. Morris scoops it out. Borchardt taken by Krieg, again back in the action. A long kick to the half-forward line. Wright is there, thumped away. Canalaftis does that beautifully, but run down. Philip Graham with the opportunity around the corner. That was Brenton Graham to Michael Wright. In towards Edwards at full forward. One-on-one, one grab, two grabs, he's got it. Fine mark, Greg Edwards. Plus 15 metres. Brings him into the teeth of goal. And he should not miss from here. And this could be the vital kick for the Dogs in their quest to make the 5. Have a look at it in replay. One hand. Can't quite get it. Down it comes. Another swing by the West Adelaide defender. But well taken by Edwards. He's only 5 metres out in front. Will put it into the lake. Certainly doesn't miss that. Edwards' first goal for the afternoon. And the Dogs kick clear again. At the 14-minute mark of the last quarter, 10-15, they lead West Adelaide 10-6. Great action on Channel 9.
We'll take you back to Football Park shortly, but I'll just repeat KG's football question. You saw it moments ago in that part of the replay there. Of course, what we want you to do is to name the Centrals player who took the mark, and Ian Day made the comment that it's a vital kick in the Dogs' quest for the top 5. All you have to do is to name the Centrals player. If you can do that, this is how you enter the competition. Your entry forms are in last Wednesday's, Thursday's and Friday's copy of the news. Just write the name of the player on the coupon, post it in, and of course you can win these fantastic prizes, which include a $500 savings account from the Highmarsh Building Society, 100 free passes to the football, and your name will go into the barrel at the end of the year, and you could be the lucky winner of that Mazda 323, the compliments of the Mazda dealer. So some wonderful prizes there in KG's football question. We'll be back shortly with more action from Football Park.
West Adelaide certainly have enough time to get back and win this game if they're good enough. The 14-minute mark, the Dogs lead by 9 points.
Peter, that kick of Gross's at goal assumes tremendous importance now. Had they hit the front, they had a big chance, but it's Van Dommel towards Beach. Grosser scoops it out. Platten sets it up for Pryor, half-forward line, puts out a long handball. Rowe trying to get to him, however, was Beach. Graham again, hooks in towards full forward, off the fingers. It's run through by Brendan Lewis, and another point results to Central Districts. 10-16, West Adelaide 10-6, 15 minutes into the final quarter.
Well, suddenly the Dogs have lifted, and suddenly also West Adelaide starting to look tired. The kick-off from Tate, Long, Filkey and Livesey. Livesey's done extremely well on his wing today. The ball in front, Livesey applies the pressure. In comes Reckner and Kennedy. Kennedy can't handle the ball. Reckner to Filkey, to centre half forward. Lindner is number 10. Or he taps it over to De Jong. Conditions not suiting the big chap. Lindner picks up. He's in trouble, no support. Gets around onto the left boot, sees Luders out of the corner of his eye. Luders is behind, not the place to be. O'Brien, tackled by Muret, gets the kick away and Bowen marks. Well, the Dogs are doing it well. The kick is short to Platt.
Platten on the half-back line. Nice kick to the wing on the outer side. Finds Jeff Gillies. The Dogs playing confident football. Wilson spoils Edwards, or Lewis spoils Edwards, and the ball out of play on the outer side. 10-16 to 10-6. West Adelaide 10 points down. Moore and De Jong. Moore tries to hook it back to Krieg. Going through nicely on the outer side there was Van Dommel. Gets the handball away. Graham with a chance again. Half forward line, slips out a pass. It's not good. Winding his way through, however, was Van Dommel. Can't get it. Lewis a free kick. No, the free kick is going the way of Graham at centre half forward.
Brenton Graham, a live wire since he came on. 4 kicks. This one's short. On a lead, Gillies. That's where it goes. And Gillies marks. That one hurt too. On days as cold as these, when the ball hits the chest after a absence from the action, it can hurt. And Gillies in a spot of bother, but when you've got the ball, that's compensation enough. Kick number 11, Gillies. Normally a good kick for goal. This one's a poor one. It's gone out of bounds on the full, and Tate will take the kick. Well, West Adelaide have stopped. They've got to reverse the momentum and kick goals if they're going to win the game. Looking for Kennedy. He's surrounded by Central District's players, can't mark. Moore kicks back to centre half forward. Donaldson there, he can't mark either. Breaks clear though, he's played well. That goes to Filkey. Filkey collects. West Adelaide a chance now. Grosser on a lead, marks. Grosser plays on, gets it to Morris. Morris has got an open goal if he's good enough. The kick on the way. The umpire's gone right across to his right-hand side, and West Adelaide have had 2 simple shots for goals that they've missed. And as Ian Day said, particularly that one of Grosser's, they'll really feel that one. 10 points now in it. No, 9 points. 10-7 West Adelaide, 10-16 the Dogs.
Earnshaw gets a lead from Bohm, and a good pass finds that player. He's on the half-back line at the moment. Bohm short towards centre wing and Stone, but Pryor's in front and takes the mark in front of Lindner. Pryor's been used as an interchange player, but done some useful things. Bone provides the run, goes to the half-forward line, too far. Well taken by Donaldson, but touched by his own player, and he was called to play on. It's a long kick back to the half-forward line. Lindner in front, can't bring it down. Scoop back towards Muret. On the bottom of the pack is O'Brien. Stone gets it out to Pryor in. Turn Van Dommel. Moore gives him support, goes to the half-forward line. Platten gets up high and interferes with Candlelafters, who gets the free kick at centre half-back. Borchards at centre wing and is calling for the ball. He should take this one. It's a good mark. Hamilton's got no run left on. He's called to play on. Put him in all sorts of trouble. Hamilton butters up again. Kennedy. Beach is clear. The Bloods go forward now. Luter's on the lead. Earnshaw right there with him. The big leap. Thumped away. Back towards Bubner. Well taken by Bones. Rides out of defence. The lead is short to Gillies, and it goes to that player midfield. Oh, he only put one hand up, but fortunately Michael Wright's got it. Platten's going to get a goal out of this. Towards the open goal, 20 metres out, smothered off the boot. Great defensive work by West Adelaide. Tater's lowered, breaking his way through by Wright into the open goal, and the Dogs have got a great goal. Right third, and that could be the goal that seals the match for the Dogs and keeps their chances alive in 1981 of making the 5.
Tremendous action. And what a great dive at the ball by Brendan Lewis. He bore out of goals. Courage personified. Tate's in trouble. The handball is poor. Intercepting is right. Breaks clear for his third. And as Ian Day said, that could be the nail in the coffin for West Adelaide. 11-16 now, the Dogs. West Adelaide 10-7. The difference is 15 points.
Oh, Peter, it's a big task for West Adelaide now. 15 points down into that breeze. And the Dogs will get confidence out of that. De Jong hasn't given in. Gets the tap away. Scoops it out again. Kennedy tries to give it across to Borchard. He burrows his way out. Drives long. Too far for Looters. Earnshaw there. With him is Bone in defence. Gets the high tackle. Gee, he's played well in this last quarter. Has Bone. Earnshaw in possession of the ball. Chips out the pass. And Moore is midfield.
Moore kicks on, looking for Gillies. Donaldson won't get there. Gillies marks. Well, they've come alive, the Dogs. They can smell victory. The kick looking for Brenton Graham. Intercepting was Hamilton. Williams backs up and looks for Borchard. Borchard is tired, but I can tell you what, he won't give in. The handball is not a good one to Morris. Morris in trouble. Van Dommel intercepts. He's close to the boundary line. He looks for Brenton Graham. Platten gives support. Graham with that unusual kicking action, looks for and finds Rowe. Well, there's still time for West Adelaide if they're good enough, but I don't think they've got enough run at the moment. This is Rowe's 14th kick. Gillies gives the lead, but he's ignored. Taking plenty of time, Rowe. Not a bad kick. Up high, Edwards. Bytheen in front. 2 grabs. Must be paid. And the big ruckman has been paid a mark. 25 metres out. On a 60-degree angle. He hasn't kicked well for goal. This is his 10th kick. He's kicked 2 goals and I think probably 5 points. 2 goal 5 from 7 shots. So on that average, you wouldn't back him in to kick this one. Straight through the middle, Bytheen. His 3rd. And that looks like it for the Dogs. 12-16 now. West Adelaide 10-7.
Well, if West Adelaide had any chance in this last quarter, it went out the window when first Grosser and then Morris missed those set chances at goal, or easy chances at goal, and certainly Centrals have made them paid for it. And the West Adelaide camp is anything but happy. The stern faces of Hookie Neal, Doug Thomas, Graham Hebbard, Neil Curley in the screen there, not at all happy, and I can see they're almost conceding this game that they can't get out of this.
Van Dommel breaks away from centre. The kick to full forward, up high, Bytheen. He's taken another one. Well, they're going from strength to strength, the Dogs. Bytheen has always threatened to do this because he's got too much height and too much power for Tate. Tate not tall enough, and Bytheen is reaping the rewards now. 3 goal 5 he's kicked. Plenty of concentration. That one's gone through. That's his 4th. 13-16 now, Central District. West Adelaide 10-7.
Well done, the Dogs. They got off to a good start in the first quarter when they kicked 2 goals 7 into the breeze while holding West Adelaide to 4 goals 1 with it. And ever since then, they always seem to be in control of the game. And although in this last quarter, when West Adelaide got to within 3 points of them, it's been the Dogs all the way. 29 scoring shots to 17 speaks for itself, but they could have kicked themselves out of the game early in the game when they didn't shoot at all well for goal, as Peter said.
Kicking away is Krieg. He's played very well. Filkey the mark. He plays on straight away as well he might. Robbie Donaldson, one of West Adelaide's best players, tears through the centre, looking for Murette, but he's out of position. Almost marking was Bennett. Borchardt runs past, but Rick Charlesworth does the right thing and comes in for a bounce down.
Bounce on the half-forward line of West Adelaide. De Jong gets the tap away. Bohm in the action again. Well done, Bubner. Gets it down to Platten, comes towards centre wing and Graham. He can't quite get that one. Quickly Morris in on the action. Beach sorts out Grosser, sweeps out a long handball to Murette, but puts that player under pressure. Wasn't a good handball. Morris down from centre wing. In goes Lindner. On the top of the pack there was Pryor. Gets a long handball out. Stone back towards centre wing, but it's Grosser in the action for West Adelaide. Not a lot of time for the Bloods. He plays on quickly, and I think a free kick is going to Centrals to Platten for a bad tackle behind the play. An elbow, according to umpire Rick Charlesworth. Now just let's have a look and see who's going to get what. Everybody's getting a little bit upset about the whole affair. Umpire Mead in. Players getting excited. Now we're going to sort it out. Platten was the fellow that finished on his backside, but and Michael Wright's being taken out of the action pretty quickly. Dexter Kennedy seems unconcerned. Now who's going to get it? Platten. After all that, it must have been someone who flattened Platten, and obviously he was a West Adelaide player.
Well, Michael Wright was waving the finger at Peter Mead then. It's pretty strong stuff between a player and an umpire, and Michael Wright's supposed to be playing at centre-half forward, and he came right but down to the opposite end of the ground for that. Borchardt interfered with, will get the free kick. I think Michael Wright's still having a chat to Peter Mead. Kick number 20 to Borchardt. 12 handballs to boot. A good performance. Kicks forward, De Jong is there. Plenty of reach, and he takes the mark.
Now we know who the player that must have hit Platten.
No doubt
You don't
about
have to
that.
be told.
De Jong kicks towards Luders. Luders, no, it's going over his head. I thought he might have marked it. Kicks short, too short. Chloe Hesse marks and kicks long. That's the way to kick. Donaldson and Gillies, ball close to the boundary line. Gillies playing it in front of him, and consistently as ever, umpire Peter Mead plays the man in front.
Gillies, the check side of centre wing. On the outer side, towards Moore, midfield. He can't bring it down. Borchard giving his all, but he's a very tired player. Scoops it out, a chance for the Dogs now. Midfield, Pryor under pressure, good tackle by Cantalaftis. Morris gives that player the run of the ball now, sits beautifully for him. Muret is short, that's the way the ball will go. No, it's Linda at centre half forward who's chosen. And he's got the mark about 45 metres out. Couldn't make the distance into this breeze, although he's a big kicker of the ball. It's a nice looking kick going up towards Luders. Muret at the back. Luders cleverly towards Muret, but the ball will bounce out of play just as O'Brien comes in to check Muret. 15 metres around from the behind post. Well into time on of the final quarter, and West Adelaide has real problems. Reckner hasn't given in, gives Grosser the chance. He missed one from here earlier. What's he done this time? Put it straight through the middle, but it could be too late for the Bloods. His first goal, perhaps he should have done it about 10-15 minutes ago. And West Adelaide kicked back. They trail 11-7 to Central's 13-16.
As Ende said, if Grosser had kicked that one much earlier, things could be different. There's Neil Curley and Billy Neal, Duck Thomas. They can see 1981 slipping away. They play Glenelg next week, West Adelaide. They've certainly got problems.
Kennedy, Graham, taken away by Platten to the half-forward line. Tate can't get it. Bythene does it beautifully. Bolts off towards goal under pressure. The kick is not a good one, and it's going to bounce out of play. In fact, it's on the full. Bythene's going across thinking it's a throw-in, but it's actually out of play on the full, and the free kick goes back there to Lewis.
Lewis' kick is high, being held up into the breeze. Filkey nudges Livesey, then gets possession. He's surrounded by opponents and gets a free kick for his trouble. De Jong at centre half forward now. Luders is still at full forward, but West Adelaide trailing by 21 points would find it very, very hard to get out of it from here. Dexter Kennedy in the middle of the ground, hasn't given up, played extremely well today, Dexter Kennedy. Linda marks at centre half forward, plays on. Muret's there, but Bohm, who's done it very well in the last quarter, tears away and finds Livesey. Livesey plays on to Chloe Hesse, who's also played extremely well at half-back, and his kick is to centre half forward. Michael Wright, over the top, Williams takes a good mark.
Williams at centre half back. He's had his hands full with Wright, who's kicked 3 goals. All in the second half. He was on top in that first half. Reckner sweeps out a long handball. On the half-forward line, it's Filkey cleverly to Randall Bennett. He runs himself into a pocket. Back to Filkey, who can't get the extra metre before the ball tumbles out of play. The heavy ground has made conditions very difficult for the players, and there it is. A fine win to Central Districts. Keeps their chances alive in 1981 of making the 5. For West Adelaide, things look a little grim. Final scores at Football Park. Central Districts 13-16-94, defeating West Adelaide 11-7-73.
Yes, that certainly was a big win there to the Bulldogs by 21 points over West Adelaide. In fact, the last time these two sides met, Central's defeated West Adelaide by 10 goals. But that no doubt now keeps the Dogs' chances alive of competing this year in the 1981 major round. West Adelaide, well, they've got the Tigers next week, so their chances very, very hard at the moment. Peter Marker, next on Action Replay, talks to Peter Krieg.
Peter Krieg, the Central District centreman, is only 17 years of age, but he played it like a veteran today. Congratulations, Peter, a tremendous effort.
Thanks, Peter.
Playing on Richard Hamilton, who is a very tough ball-getting player, I thought you played the position well and you won the position all day.
Well, we started off very tight on each other, and I think actually Richard was carrying a bit of an injury, but as the game went on, we sort of got a little bit further away from each other and just went from there.
Actually, Daryl Hicks took you off the field in the last quarter, and I thought it was a mistake when it happened. But talking to Daryl, he tells me he thought you were a bit tired.
Yeah, well, last week against Torrens, I cramped up in the last quarter. So with Dean and Jeff Gillies both capable of playing centre, we can sort of switch it around enough.
The game started very well, but your kicking for goal was very poor. Peter Bytheen missed some very easy shots in that first quarter.
Yeah, the wind was a bit tricky out there, but Roger Luders was putting through a few. But I think we were all a bit uptight a bit, and as we settled down in the third and last quarter, we put them through.
Well, Darryl made the move very quick, of course, in taking Stephen Baum off Roger Luders at the other end, almost immediately. But apparently, on the last occasion, Baum did the job on Luders.
That's right. Last time we played West, Bill Cochran started on Roger, and he kicked it through a few goals, and Stephen was put on him and did the job very well. So we started off with that again today, but things didn't quite happen, and Craig Earnshaw went on to him and did a very good job, I thought.
He did indeed, and of course later in the game I thought that Baum's last quarter was extremely good, the way he carried the ball away from defence.
That's right, he was very attacking from the defence and held up everything that came through.
Dean Mobbs, when he came onto the ground, seemed to lift the players a bit?
Yeah, in that third quarter, or late in the second quarter, he came on. He's a great leader, he gives everyone a lift. If he can shug off his knee injury, he'll be a great leader come finals.
That might be hard to do. Peter, you've got a great future. The very best of luck for the future.
Thanks, Peter.
Peter Market.